everyone, this is Jess from Cook Smarts. Today we're going to be making a pureed kabocha squash and sweet potato soup. I was just looking through my fridge and I saw that I had a little bit of coconut milk left, half a kabocha squash, and a sweet potato in my pantry. So I thought, what better way to throw these ingredients together than with a little bit of Thai flavors? So you'll see how we'll do that in just a sec. So what I've got here is a nice hot Dutch oven. So this is a 3-quart Le Creuset Dutch oven. You can use any sort of Dutch oven or some soup pot, just something that will hold a lot of ingredients. So the first thing we're going to do actually is we're going to go ahead and pour about a cup of coconut milk in here. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball it. That's about half of this can, so I'm going to say that's about a cup. And then we're going to go ahead and throw in about 2 tablespoons of red curry paste. And again, I'm going to have to eyeball this as well. Okay. So I'm going to say that's about 2 tablespoons. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and whisk this all together. So that's all whisked together, and I'm going to just let this chill and hang out for about 2 minutes. I'm going to let it simmer a bit, and then after that, I'm going to go ahead and put in our onions. Alright, so it's been about 2 minutes, and this curry sauce is starting to bubble and simmer away. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and throw in my onions. I've got about 1 medium yellow onion chopped up here. It doesn't matter how you chop it up. You can see I've got a combination of slices and squares, just because I was doing a onion chopping demo. But it doesn't really matter how you chop it up, because at the end of the day, all of this is going to get pureed, so no one is going to know how good your chopping skills are. Okay, so I'm just going to let this simmer for another 3 minutes or so until the onions get a little bit softened. Alright, so these onions have been sauteing in the curry sauce for about 3 minutes now, and they're starting to soften, which is great. That's what we're looking for. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw in the rest of our ingredients. So just to remind you, this is a kabocha squash and sweet potato soup. So it's going to get all pureed at the end. This is half of a kabocha squash and 1 sweet potato. So it's probably about 4 cups of chopped up vegetables. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in there. I'm going to toss it around to make sure that the curry is covering it all up. Now we're going to put the remainder of our ingredients in. So we're going to do about a tablespoon of fish sauce. Fish sauce adds the saltiness and savoriness. I'm not going to put too much in there for now because we can always add more later. You can't take salt out, but you can certainly put more in. Okay, and then we've got some brown sugar. That just helps balance out all the flavors. We've got a little bit of spiciness from the red curry paste, some saltiness from the fish sauce, and we're going to get a little bit of sweetness from that brown sugar. That was about a tablespoon of brown sugar. Let's stir it all up. And now I'm just going to add liquid to it. So the rule of thumb whenever you're making a pureed soup is just to cover the ingredients with enough liquid so that all of the ingredients are covered. So I've got a Pyrex 4 cups here. So I'm just going to pour this until all of these ingredients are covered by the liquid. You can also use broth, veggie broth or chicken stock. I'm just going to use water because that's what I have here. So we're going to go ahead and let that hang out. We're going to cover it up with a lid, and we're just going to wait for it to boil. It should come to boil less than 5 minutes or so. So as you can see, the soup has gotten to a nice boil. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a quick stir. And then I'm going to lower the heat to like a medium and just kind of let it simmer away for the next 15 to 20 minutes. That's just about how long it's going to take for that kabocha squash and that sweet potato to cook down so it's soft enough for us to puree. So all the ingredients are now cooked for our pureed kabocha squash and sweet potato soup. So what happened was that the ingredients came to a boil, everything came to a boil, and we turned the heat down to medium and let it simmer uncovered for about 20 minutes. So now we're going to go ahead and get it pureed. You can see that all the ingredients are nice and soft. I've let it cool down for a little bit just so if we have any splashing, it's not going to hurt us too badly. So what I typically do is I actually do this in the sink, but just for demonstration purposes today, we won't be doing it in the sink. And the easiest way is actually to tip it a little bit. So we're going to tip it so all of the liquids come down to this one side. I have this immersion blender, which I stick in here, and I hold it at a little bit of an angle. I don't put it flat against the bottom, a little bit of angle, and I just give it couple of full sips. There we go. You can give it a couple of stirs in between. So I'm going to go ahead and taste my soup and see what it needs. It is really good. It's got a lot of kick to it, but what it needs is a little bit more salt and a little bit of acid, I think, which I think often dishes need a little bit of at the end. So I've got some fish sauce here. I'm just going to do, I'm just going to give it a nice little drizzle there. And I've got half of a lime cut and my handy dandy citrus squeezer. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze in half of lime. Okay. And I've still got my stick blender. I'm just going to stir it up. And then we'll give it another taste. It's really important to taste your food. Otherwise, you're just never going to know if it's going to be good. So definitely taste throughout the cooking process. Add salt whenever you need. Add some acid whenever you need. Oh, that's much better. It's got a lot more depth to it from a little bit of fish sauce and the lime. And now we have a delicious pureed kabocha squash and sweet potato pureed soup. So again, I'm Jess, and thanks for joining us at Cook Smarts. We're always glad to have you in our kitchen.